Okay, so day two, another couple of hours spent on the bike. Obviously, that one is the sorry one that has been getting chopped up and all the parts taken off it, so we'll be running the motorcycle brakes on there and the running gear. Then here we have it. So, what did I have to do today? Today, this stem was obviously a moped stem, so what I've done is I cut it down, the stereo tube, cut it down to the correct length. I do have a load of different bearings I have in my boxes of builds and whatnot. I've used the cups off a Betty and the bearings out of a Sur-Ron or a mountain bike, similar type bearings anyway, and mountain bike stem on there with some mountain bike bars flipped over just to give it that little cool look. I will be running a bolt straight up through there to pull it all together nice and snugly instead of using a mountain bike setup. Not that the mountain bike setup's bad, because my Sur-Ron runs one at 130 plus kilometers an hour. So we will be running motorcycle brakes front and rear. Now that it's in the mock-up stage, I will be fish plating up these little areas here just to take the stress off, the heat affected zone off the welds. It's just good practice to do that so you don't get any cracks, because that's the only thing holding the back wheel on really, where it's been welded. I mean, that was TIG welded and pretty well pumped some rod in there. But yeah, I just like to do everything a little bit safer, so I'll be getting plated up. I will be messing around with these little mounts here because they're not perfectly square. I just wanted to get the back end in, tack everything up, and then I'll come round to tweaking that to exactly where it needs to be at the finish point. This is a bash guard that I made for my Sur-Ron ages ago. So all of these are leftover Sur-Ron parts. So that's what I'm using. But I just put this on here for now. But I probably will put it on in the end anyway, just for something. Otherwise it's just going to sit there. So that's where I'll be lowering the frame around about to, so I can fit the big 72 volt 40H 21700 Moly cell pack in there. That has got a, well, I've pulled 330 amps out of that on my other bike, so it's capable of 330 peak. So yeah, it'll be pretty good in that. I have a Nuclear 24F that I'm going to run on it. That was off a Sur-Ron. But yeah, so I'll have to figure out the wiring for that. I'm not really a wiring guy, but I'll suss it out. And I will be using the QS8s and a breaker. I might use that thumb throttle, I'm not quite sure yet, but we'll see. Yeah, so tomorrow I'll do another few hours. I'll chop this frame out. I want to try and keep it razor build. I don't want to mess around not making it a razor build, because then it's not a razor build, is it? It's just a fucking new bike, and yeah, well, anybody can do that. So what I will do is I will cut this out here. I will cut that off at the bottom and cut it out at the top. We'll extend that about 200 mil, and I'm going to make up a little drop frame for the battery to sit into, because I want to be able to drop the battery in from the top or the side. But I'll have to figure that out when I get to it, depending on the space I'll have. Because if I have to get rid of that top tube and make two tubes that come out, then it'll drop in. But if I can just slot it in sideways, then I can still run the single tube. But it is a fairly big battery, and getting it in to slot will be a bit of a task. But that's it. That's where it's at so far. I'm probably 5 hours deep all up. But it's not too bad when you think about what's happening with a full custom swing arm. Custom front end, custom wheels, and yeah, everything basically mocked up other than the stretch the frame. Pretty cool, definitely different.